Hello, honeys. Welcome back to Being Queen E. I'm the one, the only Queen E. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your love and support. If you just happen to come across this video and you haven't subscribed, please do consider subscribing. Also, like, share, and comment. I'd like to hear from you. Also, don't forget to click that notification bell so that you get notified every time I shoot a video. I'm going to consider this the first official video just because I just feel like it just makes sense, right? So, life in mid-20s is the ghetto. At least for me. At least for me. I feel like I'm going through a midlife crisis at age. Like, I'm not gonna say my age, but in my mid-20s. I'm not in my mid-20s yet. I'm about to get there, so that already can tell you how old I am. But I just feel like I'm having a midlife crisis. In my 20s, like I said. Well, so I let me give you guys a bit of a background, right? I schooled in Valvis, Crises, Crises Secondary School. I matriculated 100 years ago, guys. I'm old. But yeah, I matriculated a few years ago. I didn't pass matric, so I had to improve for 3 years. I know I did so bad in matric, and I've never failed a day in my life. That was the first time I failed, and I felt so defeated. I felt so bad. I felt so weak, and that was literally, I think, one of the lowest points in my life. But yeah, I failed matric, and I remember I not graduated, but I improved for 3 years after Makarne, and that was because I had this desire to go to university, not just for myself, but also for my parents, right? Obviously, I'd already had this plan that I was going to go to university, even though I didn't know what it is that I wanted to do. You literally see a lizard. Anyways, where was I? I went to university mostly because I had this thing in my mind where I always felt like I needed to go to university, like I said, for myself and for my parents, but I also just felt like I wanted a degree, right? So I went to the University of Science, the Namibian University of Science and Technology. I did my bachelor's degree for 3 years, but I feel like ever since I matriculated, right, my life has just not been how I envisioned it. And obviously, you always have an idea of what you think you're gonna be and what you think you're gonna do and all these ideas, and then life just shows you flames, and like life humbles you. And I feel like I'm not special, that happens to everyone, but I feel like most of the time when people get redirection, it might not be exactly how they saw it, but it is in line and in tune, right? For me, I just felt like it wasn't like that. I just felt like things were just like off. Like I was on a lane and it was an opposite lane, and I was in my lane, and I didn't even go on the other lane to just like crash in an upcoming car. No, I literally went off the lanes and I went on the side of the road. That's literally how I felt. I know that's like a very weird example, but like it's not that and the reason I use that example in particular is because when you're on your lane, chances of crashing are there, but chances are that there's a high possibility that you won't. But then when you go in the next lane, when oncoming car is heading towards you, you're most likely to crash, right? I haven't crashed because I'm still alive. I haven't crashed. I'm not mentally ill. I'm not doing things that are destructive to my life, at least not that destructive, at least. So I don't feel like I've crashed, but I do think that I'm on the side of the road, and I'm just looking at how the roads are just not the roads, even the cars are going and coming, and I'm on the side of the road, and I'm not part of traffic. I don't know if I'm making sense, if that analogy is making sense, but that's literally how I feel. And I just feel like my mid-20s just showed me flames, guys. Not even my mid-20s, my 20s in general just showed me flames. So yeah, I matriculated, and then when I matriculated, obviously I didn't pass, like I said, and then I I improved for 3 years, and I finally managed to go to university. So that is one tip. Don't ever give up. Don't give up ever. Just pursue. It might take you 3 years, like it did me. It might take you a year, 2 years, 5 years, but just make sure that you don't give up, because those 5 years that you're like, you know what, it might never happen, could be the 5 years that you could use to actually get to where you need to get to, right? So that is just a message all in its own. But yeah, that's besides the point. So okay, so fast forward, I graduate. I think I graduated early this year, April. Why do I feel like it was last year? I feel like so many months have passed by that I feel like it's a year now. I graduated early. It was it early or late April, somewhere there. I graduated, I got my degree, and what I thought I would feel when I got my degree is not what I felt. I thought I would be so excited, so happy that I finally finished, and I didn't feel that way. I think also part of the reason I didn't feel that way was because my graduation was very stressful. I didn't have either one of my parents there. It was literally just me and my little sister, which was okay. It was not the worst situation, but it was also just not the best. I had outfit dilemmas, makeup dilemmas. Literally, I did my own makeup, and I just felt like, for me personally, I feel like big occasions in my life are always minimized to the smallest, that I never really get to celebrate. So when these things happen, I'm just like, oh, but I'm also very used to it. It's not like I cry myself to sleep because it happened. Because for me personally, right, most of the biggest things that have happened in my life, I've dealt with them on my own. It might be, what you call it, a matric, or like even just going to school, or my first 21st, which I didn't even celebrate. I know it's a story for another day. Just all these things where I feel like big things happen in my life and I don't get to celebrate with other people. I always deal with them by myself. So it's not like I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is happening. I'm just like, another one. But yeah, and then so like I said, I graduated early April, and early late April, but somewhere in April. And when I got my degree, I wasn't as excited as I thought I'd be. I literally I went to go collect my degree in Narvo at the Irango NAST Center, and I went to go get my degree, and I was excited, like, yay, I got it. I'm finally like done studying for this particular course. But it wasn't like an excitement that was like out of this world, like an out of body excitement. It was just like, yay, I'm done. I don't have to study anymore for now. And so fast forward that, and I am now almost in my mid 20s, and I just feel like my life has not gotten anywhere. Like, I look around and people have jobs, and people have cars, and people have apartments, and people are clubbing and hanging out and going on trips, and I'm not doing. People are falling pregnant, getting married, going on trips with their significant others, and I'm not doing any of these things. None of them. I'm not pregnant. I don't have a boyfriend. I'm not going on getaways. I don't have a guy that just sends me flowers for no reason. I don't have a job. I don't have an apartment. I don't just buy clothes every other day. And obviously, most of the things are facade. Like, people just post things on social media, and most of them are not true. And for me personally, I'm not looking at these things to be like, oh my goodness, I want to show on social media, because I'm the type of person that will literally buy a house and no one will know that I bought a house until you come to my house and you ask me, is this your house? And I'm like, yeah. I'm that type of person. I feel like the day I get married, no one is going to know that I'm married. And like after 10 years, I'm going to be like, why do you still not have a man? I'm like, guy, I've been married for 5 years or 10 years with 10 kids. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm that type of person. Social media is not really like a thing for me. I don't go on there to like show stuff. I'm very like social media awkward, just like I am in society. I'm just a very awkward person in general. But like I said, again, that is a story for another day. But like for me, I just want these things for myself because these expectations that I had. And obviously, one thing about expectations is when things don't go your way and you've been thinking about certain particular things for so long, like you get depressed. And I feel like that is where I am in my life. And I understand now why. When I was in grade 12 and I would see graduates, I'm like, oh my goodness, how is that person like out of high school, out of university? They just went to university years ago, and they are literally like footing. Why? And it was not like a thing of judging. It was just like, but I thought life would be better. But obviously, life hits you when you get to a certain age where things are happening to you, and you're like, okay, now I understand. And now I feel like I was talking to myself the other day, actually, or I was thinking rather, And I was like, you know what? I understand now why people get depressed, especially graduates. I understand why they get depressed to a point where they start drinking, where they just do crazy things, where they just like ball out, because life after school is the worst thing that can happen to someone when you don't have a vision. And I say this because I've always been the girl that never knew what she wanted to do. Even now, I'm lost. I don't know what I want to do. Obviously, there are certain things where I'm like, yeah, maybe I could do this and this, but I don't have like a clear set answer on this is exactly what I want to do. I don't have clear direction, right? And I've lost kind of my faith with God. I'm not where I wanted to be, like in my spiritual and religious journey. So that is already another thing. I don't have a relationship. I don't have a guy that I can talk to or vent to. I don't have a man that I can like go on trips with and that can like distract me and like encourage me and all those things. I'm literally single. And so I don't have an apartment. I don't have a job, right? I don't have a baby. Like I'm not into social media. I don't really post stuff for social media. I am not a very like in your face type of girl. So I'm just like, what am I? Like, what am I? Outside of being a daughter and a sister and just being me, what am I? You know, there are times where I just feel like I'm existing. I'm not even living. I'm just existing. I'm just flesh that wakes up every day and roams around and does things robotically and goes to sleep, doesn't even, guys, even the wildest thing, I don't even remember my dreams. And this for me is like funny talking about it. Not it's nothing I cry about, honestly. But I just feel like life without purpose, that is what I feel like I'm living. And I'm not saying that so the guys can like feel sorry about me, sorry for me or whatever. I'm saying this and talking to someone that might be going through the same thing, just to tell you and reassure you that you're not alone. We are in this together, and yes, we are feeling this right now, but one day it's gonna change, because these are not emotions that I felt 2 years ago and now I'm in a better place. No, these are things I'm currently going through. You know, I'm currently still unemployed. I'm part of the unemployment statistics. I laugh about it because I try to make myself feel better with humor, and I don't like to stress about one thing for too long. But it's something real, you know. I don't have, obviously I have friends, like literally I think I have 3 4 friends at most, but people I consider friends, probably just 3 people. And even with those people we have different interests. Like my one friend, literally she didn't have the best childhood growing up, but when she got out of school she got into like a really good program where they paid for her school. Or I think I'm speaking under correction. And she later then, when she did that program with that company, they recruited her. Now she's a full-time employment there, like a really good job. My one friend comes from a really good family, but also she's a graduate like me. She's looking for employment, and she's also just like trying to figure life out. And then there's me, who, my family is not the worst, honestly they are not, but we are not perfect either, right? And so I just feel like I have so many traumas, and also the way I grew up and how I was treated and all those things. And a lot of people might be like, oh my goodness, she's so pretty, like what has she gone through, you know? She looks like she doesn't have problems, because a lot of people say that to me, like, oh my goodness, you look like you're this rich girl that is just like a bitch age, and like you're just like living life. And I'm just like, just because I don't look like my problems doesn't mean I don't have problems. Like, I have so many things that I deal with, and I don't know how, like, I just cope, you know? Because I sometimes I even like just feel lonely. And mind you, I have siblings. I have 3 older sisters, and my parents are still alive, thank God. You know, like, they're still here. Like, it's not that I have lost or I don't have people around me, but you can have people around you and still feel alone, you know? um I'm a very independent person by nature. I don't like asking people for things. So the fact that like I might not have, so excuse me, let me just get water real quick. I'm a very like, yeah, I'm back. I'm a very like independent person. So I like to depend on myself. I don't like asking for help. I feel like I'm weak when I ask for help. Like I might have $10 in my bank account and I just need $10 cash, and I know I'll pay you back. But just asking you for that even just like gives me anxiety. It's not even how I look to people, it's how I look to myself, where I'm just like, oh my goodness, the fact that you can't even do A, B, C, and D. I think I'm very judgmental towards myself. I think I have so many high expectations and things that I expected to happen, and they're just not happening. And I'm just like, man, like this is my life, honestly. And I say this, I think for myself, I'm venting to you guys. And while I say that, I'm also saying this to someone that might be going through what I'm going through, that might be younger than me, or might be slightly older than me. And you just feel like your life is not working out. I am of the belief that it's going to work out eventually. The God that has created me, the God that I worship, the God that I praise and love. I have this thing where I say, I read it somewhere, I don't know if it's in the Bible or quote somewhere, where I say the God in me is greater than the God in the world. And even though I'm not where I want to be spiritually, I still have that belief that I am a very religious and spiritual person that is close to God, and everything will work out in His will, and everything will work out as it should. I just think that the process leading to that is just a very hectic one. And I read a quote the other day where it says, and I'm paraphrasing, right? It says something along the lines of, you know that a blessing is about to come when you are in the most uncomfortable or the most not so pretty era of your life. And the fact that is what I'm going through, I'm just praying and counting the days and just hoping for the goodness of God. And I know that it will eventually happen. I don't doubt it at all. The problem, I think, is the waiting part that a lot of us cannot handle, where you see your peers having cars and buying, clothes and perfumes and going on trips and going on getaways with their boo things. Okay, I see you guys. I'm happy for you guys. I don't have a desire to be instant in a relationship. Obviously, if it happens, it happens, but it's not a need, you get? But yeah, that's besides the point. I digress. But yeah, just I feel like when you feel lost, especially in your 20s, because you're just growing up, you're still kind of immature, but maturing into an adult, and you're trying to figure life out, and you're like, well, I should have had this and this and this, and you don't have any of that, and you see your peers having cars and working and going on trips and having girl getaways and having this girl squad where people do things, and you're like me, an introvert, socially awkward, where you just always by yourself and never has like I said, I have friends, but they are in Balbus, and I'm currently in the north, and Kandina and they move, I'm in a Shakati. I don't have friends here, I don't have friends here. I have not made not one friend, and I've been here for 4 months. So I'm not joking when I say I'm very socially awkward, and I'm hardcore introvert. Obviously, I like to go out, I like to have fun, rarely, but most of the time I do want to be around people, just not for too long, right? But yeah, like I said, I digress again. I digress a lot. I feel like my mind is very all over the place, and I feel like this video is going to be all over the place, but I hope that you get the message. But yeah, I just wanted to talk to a almost maybe 20 something year old in their mid 20s, or even early 20s, late 20s, where you have so many expectations of yourself and nothing is working out. You see everyone around you doing all these big things that you wish you could be going through, or things that you wish were happening to you and they are not. It's just oh my goodness, what is happening to me? And I'm here to tell you that I'm currently going through that. So I'm not even talking from a point of view where I'm I was there and I've recovered and this is my testimony. No, I'm currently going through it, and I think that I'm going to come back to this video maybe a year later, 2 years later, however long it takes me, and I'm going to be it worked out, and I pray and I wish and I hope that is the same thing that's going to happen for you. It might happen tomorrow for you, it might happen after 3 days, a year, 2 years. Just be patient, hang on, don't give up, just pray to God if He is who you believe in. And whatever else you believe in, just have that belief. Be of the hope, or of the belief that it's not gonna stay like this. It's gonna change. It's gonna change. And if it's bad now, then obviously it's gonna have to get better, because it can't get any worse than this. Okay, and I'm not jinxing, knock on wood, I'm not jinxing, but I'm just saying that be of the belief that it's gonna be better. It's gonna get better. It might not be what you want it to be, but it's gonna get better. But yeah, I hope why do my words always run away? I hope that this video and what I said in this video is not a testimony, no. I hope what what is the word I'm looking for? Relate, but not that word. You know what, guys? Ever since I've been in Oshakati, side note, ever since I have been in the north, my English has just like gone, just like it. Maybe it's because I don't really speak English anymore. It's just Ochiwambo, but my English is just not where it's at. But yeah, I hope someone can relate to this video and someone can relate to what I'm going through, and probably there's someone out there that is going through the same thing. If you are, please send comment in the comment section down below and talk to me. Let's share, let's encourage one another, let's talk about these things, you know. And especially now that not crime rate but suicide rate is going up so high, mostly in the mostly for men. And men are one of those people that keep things in and that don't talk about their feelings. Like, if you're a guy and you're going through these things where you feel like you're at a certain age and your age mates are doing all these things and you're not, and you feel like, what's the use? Don't, like, suicide should not be something that you're doing. You know, think about the fact that tomorrow it's gonna be better days. Tomorrow there are gonna be better days, right? It might not be the best today, but tomorrow, if not tomorrow, a week from now, if not a year from now, but just be of the hope that there is better to come, you know. But yeah, I hope this video inspired someone. I hope someone has related. I hope someone took something from this video. And yeah, man, I just want to hear you guys' comments and maybe advice that you guys can give me. And yeah, let's talk in the comment section down below. This is my official first video for 2022. I know it's quite late, literally we're nearing the end, but it's never too late and it's never too early. So when you feel you need to do it, you need to do it. And that is what I did. I felt like, you know what, let me rebrand, let me start over, and this is what we're doing. But yeah, until next time, with yours truly, Accessionals from Queen E. Oh, before I forget, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also comment, and like I said, hit that notification bell to get notified every time I post a video. And yeah, like I said, Accessionals from me too. Bye bye, honeys.